And yeah, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are live, as a matter of fact, now. I am AWD Turbo Guy, and I'm excited to be back. As a matter of fact, they're going right now, so let's just go ahead and get to the intro. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Season 6 of FRS, where we are going to be watching Xbox Division, where we have just one division this season, but I can thankfully say that we have an entirely full grid. Of course, we are returning back to Spain for the first time, for we have only raced here one other time back in Season 3, and all the more, it's a new track layout. So it's not the exact same track that we saw, of course, with the new extended run down to turn 10 and a little bit of a change between turns 10, 11, and 12. At 579 meters, this is going to be the longest run from pole position to turn 1 of the FRS season. And of course, it's going to be an action-packed zone, being one of 3 DRS zones here. Just two DRS zones. Of course, we're going to be seeing the action in just those corners leading after those DRS zones at turn 1 and the newly redone turn 10. Of course, for this race, we're going to be seeing soft, medium, and hard tires, although I'd expect a lot of the drivers to be just doing medium and hard tires, of course, with everybody being on free choices for the race with the new regulations. But you know what isn't new is going to be my commentary partner, Kim. How are you doing? It's glad to have you back in the commentary booth. Yeah, and I hate to admit it, but I think that we might have not heard you there. So again, how are you feeling?
I can't go over it again, so that was a good intro. You can't. I'm just gonna stay silent. You've ruined the moment.
I'm terribly sorry about that. As I am continuing to play with stuff, so that I can actually get some sound. There we go. Now that's more like it. We are able to actually hear. Well, I'm able to hear now the cars on track, and something that people might note: we have the Berries, the dominant Berries, who were teammates last season, and the Constructors Champions have moved teams over into the red team out of Maranello. My goodness.
Marinara. Marinaras. Yeah, they've looked and left. Aston Martin, it's a bit of a shambles, that team. You've got Mike Crack in as team principal. I mean, currently Nemesis is getting completely blocked by an Aston Martin on his hot lap. So
as LC is coming up to the back of a Williams as well. So yeah, all of them face
has done a spin as well. Bit of a chaotic start. We've had blocking on the more blocking. You can tell they haven't raced in a competitive league for about 3-4 months now at this point.
And there is Yep, and there's the first time as they come in on the board. Curiously, MJ Povey with a 121. That's way out of the norm for him, so I'm going to go check and see what kind of
I'm going to call it. This is the end of MJ Povey. He'll be looking he's going to be looking to getting the points this season.
Yeah, and we have a lot of new faces out on the grid as well. Apologies as I don't know everybody and what their pace is. I think there's only a couple who were worthy of being in Division 1 if we had to split division, so I think everybody else is going to be a competitive midfielder.
We've got some new faces. They're all slow, so don't worry about them.
I didn't mean it like that.
What monitors?
We've got Povey on he's gone back-to-back hot laps. He's up 1.2 seconds. So, you know, seeing that, if that's true, I mean, that's still not going to be enough to be competitive within like the top, what, probably 5 at least. But, you know, this game can have tricks on you because it helps, as I said, he's done double purples. So we'll see when he crosses the line here.
Yeah, it's bumping him up.
Yeah,
wow.
He's on pole.
Surprise, surprise. Yeah, and that's the new wonderful thing about this new regulations is that the drivers can just go all out and not have to worry about using up too many softs, as the softs just aren't too reliable this year on this new game and in real life as well. So, yeah, I think we'll be getting to see lots of full runs and people possibly doing double push laps. Although I know that the ERS recharge has been kind of redone, and this Nemesis is on an outlap here. Our Season 5 champion defending his title. Currently, the only driver who's actually defended their World Championship title has been Povey. So Nemesis...
There's been 2 people who wanted one at least, so it's...
Well, there's Spike, and...
Oh, is this all of FRS? Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I was going to say that the only person who successfully done it was MJ Povey over on Xbox, no? Because I believe...
On Xbox, yeah.
Yeah.
Nemesis
as
won.
Nemesis, and he invalidates his I don't know if that's...
I think that was an outlap.
Yeah, it was an outlap, but I don't know if it invalidated his second lap.
Let's see.
He's going to cross the line.
And invalidate.
It's still red, yeah. Wow. So he's having...
Have to recharge.
Very rough start for him, our defending champion there.
Yeah, the defending champion already. I'm going to say it. Nemesis will not score points this season. I know last time I said it, you know, the Povey went on provisional pot by 3/10, but this time I'm confident.
Yeah, currently riding on board with Spin, who got a nice little tow actually from Nemesis heading down into turn 1, as Nemesis hopped out of the way as they started going through that long right-hander of turn 3 there. But yeah, with 10 minutes left, we'll see some more cars coming out. I think Spin's in a very optimal position right now to not have to worry about any kind of traffic ahead. So I think we should be seeing a fairly decent time from him, as he's been quite pacey in the all the different practice races and 5-lappers that we've done. So I have some good hopes, hoping to see him inside the top 10 here.
Well, he did upgrade from his dog status last season. He evolved from a dog into a wolf. So with that upgrade on his personality, hopefully that can get him 3 extra attempts as we go into the final corner now.
Yep, doing a great job to keep it together. It looks more of like a banker lap for the time being, and he goes P7. That's not a bad banker lap at all. Minute 18.2, so yeah, not too many people in the 117s, although those who are in by nearly half a second, and
yeah,
kind of refreshing to see an old face back there on the front row, the provisional front row of Cryptic F1.
He'll just crash after like 5 laps. I don't know why we're hyping him up. If last season anything to go by, he'll be the safety car causer.
Well, he put in a purple sector 1 there as Nemesis has dropped. I think he's having problems with his force feedback or something like that, but Cryptic looking good so far. Put in a purple sector 1. I missed how much he was up by, but we'll get a better look as he comes around turn 9, making his way down the newly remapped surface of turn 10. And the Alpha Tauri getting out of the way there. He's 4/10 up. He might be our first driver into the 16s.
It doesn't mean anything. He'll be upside down by turn 4.
Oh, I think he's actually, from the rumors that I've heard in the paddock, the virtual paddock, it's that he's actually trying this season. So we might see we might see a season 3 rematch again, but this time. There it goes. 16s,
and Povey's got something to work against here, and we're still awaiting laps from Nemesis.
Yeah, well, he's actually left the. I haven't seen him rejoin yet, as LC's going to cross the line, and he takes P2 now, and it just 0.02 of a tenth ahead of Povey there. As we go ahead and jump on over to Povey, who has started his lap.
Jesus, sorry, I was watching Habs and there was a Aston Martin spinning directly in front of him. He was going into chicane. So not sure if that impeded him at all. Into P6.
As Nemesis finally rejoins, and let's head on over to yet another Season 3 throwback of Xbox Division 1, Lower Bow, formerly known as Lawrence Boers. He is finally back in the server.
You might be thinking, didn't he get banned? All we can say about that is yes. And here he is on his hot lap.
Coming down to turn 10, we'll see where he's at. 6/10? Wow.
That was taken frequently. Well, not that much of an improvement, really.
From P11, it would put him up into around P6.
Into the top 10.
As long as he can nail this final sector here. Yeah, he should jump pretty far up.
Read, unfortunately. Just a bit of curve there. We'll see if that helps him out or not.
As it comes around, ooh, barely keeping it within the track limits, and he's going to cross the line.
Lost 2
oh, wow.
Just up a position, I believe.
Yep, and that's going to hurt him. So we'll actually go to one of our new drivers joining us this season, Captain Clapjack898 in the Aston Martin, as he is 4 seconds down, so it's not looking like a good run there. Hopefully he's not blocking the Mercedes behind of Queasy Pluto, possibly?
Queasy Speedy Pluto boy.
Yeah, it looks like he's on a cool-down lap and possibly looking for another push lap, so... As we'll go ahead and jump on over to his teammate, who is also on a cool-down lap. So trying to find the action, we'll go over on to Issei, who is one of the main people advocating for Lawrence to come back, as he also appears to be on a
best friends of
in-lap.
He's factually the best Swede in the Xbox division as well, we should add. This
is true. And actually, he might even be the fastest one in the FRS server that I know of.
I wasn't confident enough to say that. Well, let's say.
I will say it. I very likely could be wrong, but just got to be confident about it, I guess. So, riding on board with one of the two people.
Nemesis has made it back out of the pits. He's probably got enough time for 2. It's tight, actually. It's tight. If he makes a mistake on his lap, he'll probably pit and then come back out again. But it's less than ideal start for the reigning champion.
Yes, Don Mao, the only other driver who hadn't set a lap time yet. He comes in at a 1:19 there in the Alpine. So, yeah, we're going to have to see where Nemesis ends up as he rounds the final corner. And we'll ride on board with the champion for his first flying lap. That wasn't invalidated as he spun around the final corner. So, so far looking fairly decent. He takes a little bit of inside curve there.
It's looking decent.
It is. He took a little bit of curve with that turn 2 there. Nice setup for the long right-hander of turn 3. I
don't know how good that. It wasn't a purple sector, but it's hard to judge it when you just get the sector time. Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting. I think this is more of a banker lap, just so that he's not starting from the back. Yeah, I really don't think he's pushing it too hard this time around, because he knows he doesn't have enough time. So this might be it for him.
And you probably have some work to do in the actual race, but it's purple. Maybe purple sector 2. I don't know if they're going to fix the colours on the sector screen, but I'm going to trust they haven't.
That's a safe assumption from Codemasters, as Nemesis does a great job to keep it stable through the final sector.
Probably the best distance taken so far. We'll see to the right-hand side.
Provisional pole? You're kidding me! Oh my goodness!
A champion's lap.
Oh wow!
Reigning champion, provisional pole, and he says, "How about that?"
Clear ahead by 1/10 from Cryptic behind, to the only other driver in the 16s, as we hop on over to Povey, who runs very wide there
as well. So he won't be responding anytime soon to that lap. Povey
he's slowed down.
He's going for a double out lap maybe, or he's made a mistake because his battery's at 95. So I presume at some point something's happened.
Yeah, as LC Fighter's still in the pits. He's probably going to want to get going here soon. Yeah, these guys in the pits, they're going to be cutting it very close for the final flyer as we head on over to the other Aston, Voki, who appears to be on an out lap or an in lap or something like
I think
that.
a lot of people are just making mistakes. Well, Voki's, but I'm going to say Voki's on his in lap because of the battery. You know,
Yeah.
it's pretty low.
We go on to Stanier, who's also heading into the pit lane as well. How about Captain Jack? What's he doing? Oh, Captain Jack's actually up by 3/10.
I mean, I don't want to be mean or anything, but that is going to take him to last still.
You never know. He might pull an incredible purple Sector 3 out.
When you just it takes time to get used to a game, and when you don't have experience league racing, it can be a bit of a reality, a kickback to reality. But just you're going to gain more every race, learn from it, and that's a 2-second game.
Yeah, like I said, he could have. He did pull out nearly a whole second out of Sector 3. So, yep. As we'll go ahead and ride on board now with Quimulus, who is probably doing his final flyer lap for this session, as he's one of the early birds, and he's always the first one out of the pits. And I'd imagine he's usually the first one to finish the qualifying session as well, as he finished out Sector 1, and I completely missed the timing screen. I'm not sure how much of an improvement he actually made.
10 seconds. From just viewing like multiple laps, I really think the key to this qualifying session has been getting the lap in. Really, I've seen lots of drivers aborted their laps quite early on, or at least halfway, and yeah, then it's just ruining their run. Really, just getting that lap in as someone.
Oh, and one of the new drivers.
Qualification. That's different. He's parked in a dangerous location.
I don't know.
The grandstands.
Don't know where that was at. I'm looking on the map. Yeah, they've already removed his car from the track, so not sure exactly where that was. But yeah, still riding on board with Quimulus, who rounds the final corner. Not invalidated. Wasn't the best run out of the final turn, but it is enough for a 1/10 improvement to put him ahead of Voki, jumping up a place.
Oh, he had a bad final sector, Petmeister. It was going quite well until the last sector. We ended up losing time, so Queasy Speedy Pluto Boys invalidated his lap, so that probably is his session over.
So yeah, that's going to be it for the two Mercedes as Povey crosses the start-finish line to start his final flying lap.
The artist formerly known as Lawrence Burrs has gone up to P9, jumping up in front of his Red Bull Racing teammate.
Well, yeah, we're seeing a lot of drivers, a lot of teammates stuck. Well, I say a lot, really, with the Mercedes. Yeah, it's a good amount. The Ferraris, the Red Bulls, the Mercedes, and the Alfa Romeos currently stuck together. So that might be some kind of tactical advantage that they can use if they decide to pull team orders. They're right next to one another and can help someone get a better race result in the end. But it is just the first race of the season, and so there's still so much that we don't know, and we'll just have to wait for the rest of it to play out here, as Povey only improves by 2/10.
You say only, but he's a threat for pole. He was really on the limit, just going through. Needs a clean chicane here.
Oh no! He just completely lost it there.
Oh, he just lost it. Oh,
you commentators cursed them. There's the first commentator's curse of the season, of many more to come. LC invalidates. Cryptic coming through the final chicane.
What a tragic accident. Cryptic is coming around the final corner. Can he put it on provisional pole?
He does! He does! And Nemesis spun round! Oh my goodness, what a shambly start!
Provisional pole, and probably pole for Cryptic F1.
Yeah, Voki, he's not up in his time, so that's it. Cryptic taking the maiden pole. And yeah, you were making fun of him, saying that he's going to spin it, but I told you.
Yeah, but the race hasn't happened yet. So
it hasn't, but I told you he's been sweating. He wants to win.
He's always been a good qualifier, but let's see what happens in the race.
Yeah, we still have
more
to go.
Surprise. It's just like what a better way to kick off your season? Your intentions are set perfectly clear, beating the big three last season, weren't they? Nemesis, LC, and Povey all behind.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And Queasy Pluto as well. We saw him during the Cup, the FRS Cup. He was very competitive. Well, okay. If you didn't watch it, I mean, he ended up winning the thing.
They didn't.
He was.
No one knows what happened. No one knows what you're on about.
Okay. Well, I enjoyed it. Yeah. So It is better this season, at least. I'll give Codemasters that, but yeah, there's still a lot of season left, and who knows what'll happen with drivers coming and going, missing races here and there. Who knows? I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Now the tension kicks in for everyone. First race start of the season, you obviously just want to get the start right and settle in. It's different having a practice start compared to a practice race, sorry, and compared to the actual real thing. And we've seen, I think, how many times have we done Spain this Xbox?
We've only done it one other time as an official championship scoring race in season 3, but we've done so many evaluation races here, so many qualifying time trials, excuse me, that's what they're called, time trial evaluations here. So it's not an unfamiliar track for the drivers, for the season drivers.
I think it was our first race we commentated on that one, because I can specifically remember there being a crash and to tell one of me screaming, "There's a crash!" really loud. So yeah, the turn 1 can cause a bit of havoc. And of course we've seen incidents in the first lap before in Spain. I don't even need to mention Hamilton-Rosberg in, was it 2016?
Yes, yep. I
don't even need to mention that.
Verstappen's maiden win because the dominant team decided to hurt themselves and take themselves out of the running.
Start.
Oh yes.
As well.
Yep.
But we have 2 Ferraris near each other on the grid, teammates. So feel free, lads. LC and Nemesis.
And we do have the 2 Mercedes next to each other, not at the front, but yeah, I think that's going to be a consistent scoring team of Queasy Pluto and Coinbulus, because they tend to keep out of trouble. It isn't until the back markers come around that they kind of hurt the races of, or sorry, not the back markers, excuse me, but the front runners of the berries. When they start coming around, they cause mayhem for everybody else. But I'm going to go ahead and pull up the tires that everybody has fitted.
Yeah, with the new regulations, we have the common theme is mediums. Only
3
starting on the mediums. Queasy Pluto in 5th, as you can see properly, is on the hards. We've got Hans van Nick being the only runner on the softs. I think he felt like he was out of position from qualifying, so he's going to bowl on a set of softs and hopefully make ground at the race start. And then we have that one kid who is a debut this weekend, who is put it on the hards. And we should mention El Gloverino at Bahrain last season in the season opener. Set our hards on and went very far into the race. Did he come? Was he on the podium or was it? I can't quite remember the game.
Yes, I'm very confident in saying that he finished 3rd.
MP3.
Yes, I'm pretty sure he finished on the last step of the podium after such an incredible stint on those hard tires. I think he only put in like 4 or 5 laps on the softs at the very end of the race. It was It was amazing.
This year, you just stick on the hards for most of the race and then just pit right at the end. But we should mention it as well. This is quite a tricky track, and everyone is doing their first, most people are doing their first league race of the new game. So there is a chance we could see safety cars, which would obviously affect strategies. And it's all about if there is safety cars really, it's all about the timing of them to see who benefits the most.
Yep, as the drivers come around, and yeah, with all the different kinds of lack of runoff here, yeah, there's as we saw Povey end up putting it into the wall there at the very end of his qualifying.
Not a good time.
Oh yes, and Nemesis was disqualified.
Oh god,
I should point out that we have the special formation lap now where you can drive it all the way to the pit box. So if you overshoot, then you get disqualified and it resets you. But yeah, so they're still we're just gonna see a lot of disqualifications from the formation lap, but they should all be good. Yeah, as hopefully they'll give us a better camera angle than what we currently have. I guess we'll just have to ride on board with
good luck
with MJ Povey here in P4, as it's a slightly slow start there from the Ferrari of a little bit of contact actually from the drivers there, as I'm still not getting a good camera angle into turn one. There we go.
There we go. Everyone, we've got this quite close at the front. People are making a little bit of evasive action, and from behind, but Cryptic keeps the whole of the lead out of turn 3.
He has Hobbs Van Nick down there in P13, so he's going backwards there with those tires, so that we have Lawrence and Quimby going side by side there through turn 3 wide. Or excuse me, turn 4.
He's beaten into the gravel and is down to last place. It's the worst possible scenario from the person who started on the soft tyres.
As we see the Mercedes of Quimby go wide, and he collects Vokey with him in the Aston. We saw him spinning around. It looks like there might have been a reset to track there from that Aston. Not 100% sure, but that's wing damage on Vokey there. It looks like Quimbulus doesn't have any visible wing damage from the front, but man, oh man, that was quite interesting seeing him get pushed wide there by his teammate, it looked like, and just upset the balance of the car. Nemesis is dropping now too.
Yeah, he went wide. That's not the worst possible start from Nemesis, dropping from, was it
he just blatantly cuts. Now he's spun round. Well, he cut the corner quite aggressively there on that final chicane, and I guess that's the price he pays there, as Vokey heads into the pits for a wing change, and it looks like Quimbulus follows him as well. So there we go. We see Hobbs Van Nick now making up positions as he's on a recovery drive with those soft tires, and I think Chuck was also on the mediums. Yes, it was that one kid and Queasy, who was all the way up in P5 there on the hard tires on the alternate strategy. So, yeah,
I thought we saw Queasy do that. Sorry, I thought we saw Queasy do that last season. He'd always quite qualify on the mediums and outspeed everyone else, and he really benefited from it. So to keep the whole position in P5, starting on the hard, it's a real impressive job from him so far.
Definitely, and yeah, the mediums are prone to, did we have more contact between Quimby and Vokey down there as they came out of the pits? I saw a yellow flag being waved, and both of their cars seem to be on top of each other, but not 100% sure there is. Well, now Nemesis sends it up the inside there of Queasy Pluto heading into the final chicane. And is Queasy going to fight back? Yes, he is.
I wouldn't. it never really works, but you've got to get ambitious sometimes, and Nemesis gains a position on the lap.
Yeah, and Spin is getting a nice tow here from Queasy, but I don't think it's going to be enough, as Queasy's also getting a tow ahead. So yeah, it's going to be Spin trying around next time, as Captain Clapjack there is fighting with some of the seasoned drivers of... who is that round? That's Stanier round, no?
No.
There's all kinds of cars being spun the wrong way.
Coming back, which is a weird one. I'm pretty sure he's not coming back, so I think just the ghost spin.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, I saw him ghosted, so I don't know. That was interesting, as Hobbs Van Nick is looking to make a move on Captain Jack heading up to turn 9, but as Jack runs a bit wide there, and that's going to give Hobbs the outside line here, and Hobbs, pretty aggressive there from Captain Jack as he's now spun around, as they had a little bit of contact between the Alfa Romeo and that Aston Martin there, and that's going to be Captain Clapjack, who is doing pretty well on his season debut, or his league debut in FRS so far. But
Habs was last place at one point in this race, and has now, after four laps, made it into the top 10. So the soft tyres are obviously have the benefit, and now he's going to try and chase the Red Bull of Pepmeister, as we have a yellow flag, another one.
From Don Mao and the Alpine, it looks like.
Yeah, I would believe.
And
the LC Fire is in the lead.
Yes, he's changed lead. We've been looking at him for a while now, and Cryptic's been able to hang on to the back. LC got the overtake done with the DRS down the start-finish straight, but Cryptic has been right on his tail ever since. So it's been quite incredible wheel-to-wheel racing as Lawrence and Queasy are battling it out as well. But I kind of want to see what happens with this DRS, and it looks like he is going to go for it. Ooh, no, he's not. He was a bit far back, but he had his ERS activated, looking like he wanted to make a move, but just not enough road as he gets a nice run here from the right-hander, the long right-hander, in the final sector here. And it looks like he's
chaotic start to the race bar. That is pretty close to Cryptic. You've got to imagine he's gonna get him on the straight.
Oh, what a beautiful run. He's been harassing LC in that final sector, and it's just going to be easily done as MJ Povey is now sneaking up in to join this fight for first place as well.
He is, isn't he? Just here I am again, everyone. Did you miss me?
As we're going to go back now to look at the battle another battle that's been going on for quite some time, where we also have a third party joining of Spin, as he actually runs quite wide there in turn 3. But Lawrence and Queasy have been going at it. As Lawrence way late on the brakes, almost running into the back of Queasy there. As we see yet another yellow flag there of Chuck.
It's quite a critical time for Cryptic as well. He's just hovering over the DRS limit. Unfortunately for him, LC has got DRS down straight, so he will hopefully try and stay within the DRS range heading on to the start from the straight. But of course, if he doesn't just out a second, then it's going to leave LC quite vulnerable to Povey behind.
Yeah, oh man.
Oh wow.
That's close. That's close on the timing board. Oh yes. And does LC have it? He does not have DRS, as we're migrating hosts now, as Povey's left the session. That's not good. That might trigger some kinds of desync and disconnect, as I know it's been quite dangerous on the PC side of things when the host leaves. So hopefully nothing too scary happens. Let's see in the chat. Oh, Stanier's asking for an invite.
Yeah, I'm going for it.
Okay, perfect. While you do that, I'll keep commentating as Nemesis is now caught up to the back of MJ Povey, as Povey has left. Stanier now asking in the other chat as well for an invite.
I'm coming.
But yeah, so wow, there's been a lot of exciting action on this track so far, kind of proving that this new layout, these new cars, are certainly contributing to the great wheel-to-wheel racing. As Nemesis closes in, and he puts in a purple sector 2 there, as Spin is spun round there.
Yeah, it's Spin, isn't it? Like I said, it's just getting used to it. We've seen lots of yellows, but no one was retired yet, of course. So, I don't know why I said that. So keep an eye out. Someone will go soon.
Yeah, Nemesis now up on the ghost of Povey, easily going to get that overtake done. And I think this kind of battle here at the front is kind of settled in now, and we're in for the long haul as we see yet another yellow flag for Chuck. It looks like who is spun around there.
Oh, he's hit the barrier. I don't know.
Oh, he's retired.
He's retired on track.
Oh, okay. So he's retired on track. That's
just let's ignore that one. Oh, Cryptic's leading.
Yeah, okay, yeah, Cryptic's still in the lead. He's got a fairly healthy gap there.
Yeah, he's driving well. Nemesis on his fight back is catching his Ferrari former Aston Martin teammate. They were the dream team last season, so let's see if any Ferrari team orders come into effect.
As Povey has rejoined us as well, so I'm sure he's just got plenty of excuses as to why he didn't finish first. It's just all coming in now for him, so that's a great day shaping up for his PR department, as they will just have those ready and loaded when he gets questioned. But we see the Barry dominance not at the very top step. Yeah, we do have.
He's jealous. He wants to be
yeah, he kept the car straight and not spun around.
Oh, look at this. This is disgraceful. What a sham.
Oh, no, they're pulling the team orders. Oh, they're pulling the team orders. Boo.
The fans are walking
Boo.
out.
Come on now.
What an absolute disgrace.
I knew that they should have been split up as teammates. This is not right. They are ruining the integrity of the sport by pulling these team orders. This is just nearly borderline fixing the race at this race.
In the championship.
They should, and Povey should get out of it as well.
Penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's like the 101 of racing, like just let's not speed in the pit lane. But the first penalty of the season is Sven.
Yeah, it's kind of surprised that we haven't seen. Yeah, and we haven't seen any track limits come in yet. But Hobbs Van Nick still trying to make those stops work, but I'm afraid that it looks like they're kind of dropping off now, as he's made it now 8 laps into this race. I think from the infographic at the beginning, they are estimated to go around 10 laps. And Hobbs Van Nick, being a tire whisperer, he'll be able to make them go a little bit longer. But I'm afraid all this following Pep Meister is just going to be hurting them a bit more than he'd be liking them to. As you can see, yeah, just coming out of that final corner, Pep is able to gap him fairly decently by about 2-3 tenths of a second there, as as Nick continues to play catch up now for there. So who knows? That might kind of trigger some strategies and some pit strategies kicking off, but I really don't think so, as Hobbs Van Nick was kind of on a weird alternate strategy from everybody else, as MJ Povey has now regained control of his car and is back to harass the back of LC Fighter and make LC regret fixing this race with those team orders.
We should... Oh, we've got another yellow. Who's the victim this time?
Well, we saw...
Vokey's around well.
Oh, my word.
Vokey didn't reset the track. Ignore that one. Let's turn a blind eye.
Well, he definitely didn't do it earlier when he and Quimby collided as well. So
yeah, definitely not. He's just got miracle car control.
That gap to Hobbs Van Nick and Pep is just kind of it's looking worse and worse the more that it goes around. So I think Nick will be looking to get off of these soft tires here soon, and I really don't think he has any other choice but to go to the hards with this much left in the race, although the medium tires are actually fairly decent, and I guess we can keep an eye on those guys. But Nick isn't going to have that information when he heads into the pits to select which tire he wants to be fitting on. So MJ Povey on the back of LC Fighter, still 3 tenths separating him, as Nemesis has kind of pulled a Kevin Magnussen and left LC to fend on his own there, not giving him any kind of DRS.
He's not really gaining on Cryptic either, just settled. So you've really got to question Ferrari's strategy here. I mean, it would be very unlike them to mess up any kind of strategy at all. But
yeah, it's
just leaving him vulnerable.
That's not what Ferrari is known for. They're known for excellent strategy calls that are race winning. So this is
another yellow.
There's so many yellows that keep happening. I can't keep up with them.
Gone.
As Captain Povey gets a little squirrely there.
And that's going to ruin the potential overtake on the right.
Yeah, and is going to have DRS possibly as they come through the detection zone now, and he just barely gets it, barely straddles on by getting that DRS. But man, that little mistake there definitely cost him. But man, that DRS is powerful as he cuts down that little over a second lead that LC had down to 7/10, 6/10. As it just keeps tumbling down now. But Cryptic kind of enjoying a little race of his own, managing the gap to Nemesis behind fairly decently.
We're not half distance yet, so anything can happen. We've seen a chaotic race anyway. The one loose spin's could end up on the wall and the safety car comes out. It would bunch the back up together again.
As we have another battle on track unraveling, I guess, as we finally get our first track limits penalty. It took way too long, but
I'm impressed.
Yeah, not bad at all. As Issei has come up to the back of that one kid, a new FRS racer as well, and that one kid seems to be doing fairly decently, actually. Issei isn't really keeping up with him. Yeah, just...
Maybe he's not in DLS range.
Oh my, is he not going to get it this time around?
Oh, wait, he's gaining a lot though, so I'd say maybe just caught it. That's quite, he gained 3 tenths in the straight, so either he's got an incredible car in a straight line or he just had it.
As Nick finally comes into the pits, the first one on probably what was their original plan strategy coming in now. Of course, we had Voki come into the pits and Spin come in as well.
And away he goes. That is a world record pit stop. I have no confidence on this, but it looks good.
As he's going...
1.2 seconds. Oh, it's incredible.
As he comes out just ahead of, well, what would have been NFC Vickers, who also ended up diving into the pits. So, Nick, a lot of fresh, clean air around him on those hard tires that will take him to the end of the race as long as he doesn't spin around. As Issei and that one kid are going side by side through, what is that, turn 5, I believe? And Issei coming out ahead as that one kid was doing a very nice, respectable job keeping the racing clean, and probably a bit too clean as he gave him plenty of room.
I'm on board with Povey, and yet again he's had a massive snap coming out of the newly redesigned corner, and he's going to pit.
He's in the pits, all right. So we're gonna have to pay attention and see what that triggers.
He could be going. You know, I'm going to say he's going to go for a 2-step. You know, he's going to play a bit different. I don't think we're going to see a set of hards here.
And it is hards that go on.
What do I know?
So
maybe he's a bit racy, you know, but it's not.
So he puts the hard tires on, and what is that going to do for the other drivers?
I think we've got to respond to it.
Do you though? Because I mean, even Hobbs Van Nick was able to go that far in the race.
It depends how confident you are on tyre wear. Do you think if you don't think you can do medium soft, then you'd pit now because you're going to lose time. You're going to come out behind you.
Oh, is Captain Jack?
Captain Jack is retired on track.
Okay, yep. I thought his car was
no, he didn't.
Buried somewhere deep, but not. It looks like it's fine, and you know, just getting in the way of everybody else. So,
engine failure, I heard. He's just rolling to a safe place.
Looking at the, so we have obviously the Ferrari guys staying with each other throughout this race, but the two Dutchmen and the Red Bull as well have been able to stick together, and the Alfa Romeo guys as well, as now Pep is into the pits.
Well, this would be for us hard. So I guess they think they can do medium soft with them. Because if you're planning on pitting into the hards, why would you just not pit to cover off Povey? You're saying that they are Ferraris, aren't they?
That is true. Yep, they probably have a brilliant strategy that nobody else has ever thought of before. So yeah, Pep got the hard.
Yeah, Povey is side by side into turn 2, nearly contact as well. This is going to compromise the space for Povey.
Yes, he goes a bit wide there. And is that one kid going to go defensive? Yes, he is. He is going to go defensive. Of course, that one kid on the original hard tires that they started with, so he's on an alternate strategy along with Queasy Pluto. That seems to be working well for them so far. And they will be on faster tires at the end as Povey comes in, and ooh, that one kid again, very respectable.
Yeah, just let him go.
A bit too respectable.
I thought that was a bit of miscommunication. He did that one kid did it into turn 1 as well, as Nemesis has pitted, and you've got a 5.
Oh no!
Oh, it's a disaster. I don't. Yeah, just checking he doesn't serve it now.
Zero. Okay.
Lawrence is covering off his teammate as well. Into the pits he goes.
So that's a kind of a weird call for Nemesis because they didn't instantly react, but as NFC Vickers finally the first driver who properly retires in the pits.
Yes, well done. You get 10 points. We have to ask Povey afterwards. But Nemesis has stayed out in front of Povey.
And by
the gap got bigger.
Yeah.
But he has got a fasting time penalty, so was it really worth it?
And again, I'm still kind of scratching my head over that call from Ferrari, who are just always on it in the strategy department, as he didn't instantly respond, but he also didn't go long and stick to what probably would have been his original strategy.
He's got lucky as well, because obviously Povey would have been held up behind that one kid. He was attacking for like half a lap, and so he would have been held up there, so he could have been a bit closer, as the race leader now is into pit lane. As
he's probably covering off for... And I looked at that, that's LC in the pit as well. So, yeah,
so
and
Queasy Puyo.
Yeah, he's going to inherit the lead, and he's looking pretty good. He was catching up to the drivers ahead of him on, admittedly, worn mediums, but his hards are equally worn as well. So, he's shaping up to be in a pretty good position come the end of the race, and might possibly be in it with the drivers behind, as Nemesis comes out ahead of LC, and MJ Povey is back behind that one kid again. Did we miss a spin?
He must have made a mistake of some form, but he's going to breeze past him on the straight. I say he's been making a lot of mistakes out of the new. I don't know the track, the numbers. Out of the newly redesigned corner, he's been making lots of mistakes, having a snap of oversteer out there. I've seen it multiple times, so maybe he fell foul again.
Yeah, that must have been the case, because I don't remember that one kid being that close. He must have, but I didn't see the yellow flags go off either, so it must have just been something that don't know. No idea. We are expert commentators there, as Issei comes up on the back of Povey's teammate, Stanierton, in the Alpine. And that's the only other close battle that we currently have on track. Everything else is kind of going to be figured out in the pits, as Povey already pulls a gap to that one kid by nearly a second and a half. So yeah, it surely must have been a mistake from Povey that we just missed out on. As we can take a look.
If you're looking for wild strategies, everyone on track right now is in the hard. So, Povey, flash lap is coming.
So yeah, the only two drivers who haven't made their pit stops yet are that one kid and Queasy Pluto. And it should be noted too.
Povey's around.
Oh, as I try to cut to it. Oh my.
And he's going to lose multiple positions here. It is a disaster for... Oh boy. He's lucky. It's good car control actually to keep out the barriers. He's safely withdrawn onto the track, but it is a disaster for our...
And he's not getting back up to speed.
Yeah.
There he finally goes.
I don't know how many championships he's won. For some reason I think it's... Is it 3 or 4? I don't know.
Not enough in his eyes, too many in everybody else's eyes. That much I do know.
But that is a rookie mistake from Povey. He's made a lot of them this race. He's obviously says he's been dealing with lots of issues on his end, but he's now lost multiple positions. As Cryptic fires in a new fast lap of the race, just to worsen the blow.
Whew, man, this has been an interesting race. I'd say it's been a Spain race so far. There's been some action, but it's kind of settling in now. We've got DRS trains forming right now, and P7 in the final points positions here with Hobbs, Van Nick, Pep, and Lawrence as he cuts the corner. So what is...
He's going to retire.
Okay.
He's out the race.
Wow.
He has rage quit the race.
Wow.
That's typing in general Xbox. This is incredible scenes here in the season opener.
10 points for retiring in the proper one.
We'll see how this game is next week. Otherwise, he's done. That is
wow.
A multiple champion there.
Yeah, and he gets promoted to an admin in FRS, and one race in, and he's already thinking about quitting the season. So, yeah, that's interesting. As Hobbs Van Nick has been continuously closing up on the back of Lawrence, who is on older tires, as we have Voki also retiring in the pits as well. So 10 points for Voki, Povey, and NFC Vickers, who have done the correct thing to retire in the pits.
I'm sure that's a good consolation for Povey.
Of course, I guess we'll have to offset, maybe deduct 5 points for each reset to track that Voki had, so he's back down to 0 now. But either way, I don't think it's worth giving him time penalties after he's retired now. As Hobbs Van Nick is battling with Pep, and Voki's car is not ghosting, even though he did retire in the pits the right way, so that's kind of sketchy, but thankfully it doesn't interrupt any kind of racing that we saw on the screen now.
So Hobbs has split the Red Bulls in the pit circle, hasn't he? I was pretty sure he was in 9th, and he split them up. So he's undercut them both basically by pitting early from the soft tyre.
Yeah, it's looking good. Even though, yeah, he is on older hards, but I mean, it's looking competitive for the time being.
Racing.
And it looks like he's just kind of playing it safe here, knowing I think he's playing the long game here, right in between the two Red Bulls, because he isn't using any kind of ERS in the DRS straights and not really kind of catching during the DRS. So I think he's just kind of waiting for Lawrence ahead to make a mistake, thinking that the old man might not still have that fire in him that he used to have in Season 3. And probably for the better of the league. Some of that fire was a bit too hot. But, yeah, just kind of waiting for Lawrence to make a mistake and capitalize on it. And I think that's Nick's current strategy for the time being in the Alfa Romeo.
What a strategy that is. He's just trying sitting in the DRS until the opportunity arises.
Yeah, he's improved his first sector by a 10th, so yeah, he certainly has pace. He's just waiting. Doesn't want to do the overtake, would rather have the other person spin out, and I can't knock him for doing that. That's pretty much what I did and what I still do in all of the races. So just got to survive. As you can see, we've already had 5 DNFs of this race. A lot of them.
None of them are damaged today. That's the problem, isn't it? And it's just not what you'd like to see when 5 people are out to they quit basically.
Yeah, especially when we had reserves waiting too. It would have been nice to see them carry all the way to the end instead of quitting when there are other people who wanted to join the race as well. So, it is what it is, but that's something maybe to think about next time for the full-time driver who decided to rage quit because audio was glitched or something like that.
Pep's just going to go for it into turn 1.
And Pep does a nice job staying ahead. Oh my word! Oh, but this has allowed Pep to catch up to them. Or was Lawrence behind? I am so confused now.
The car in front.
Okay.
It's fine, Lawrence. Pep's behind.
Pep's caught up. Oh my word.
He's going to hold the position.
Whew! So all of that drama for nothing. What I feel ripped off. I want my money back. That was not worth it. As hopefully Nick is going to send it into turn 10. here. We'll have to see, as he does not have the ERS activate. Yeah, he's just going to play it safe. Okay.
He's realistically not the best overtaking spot there. He's going to save it up until the main straight where he can have a real dive.
Yeah, currently splitting the Red Bull sandwich, the Dutch driver sandwich. I'm not sure what a popular sandwich is over there in the Netherlands, but whatever. Hobbs is the meat, I guess, between the bread. As that one kid finally comes into the pit.
Into the box. We'll put a set of mediums on. I'm surprised he didn't try next shout to get on the softs. Like I presume Queasy Speedy Burger Boy is going to try.
Yeah, and with what, the pit lane being about a 25-second stop, 22 seconds loss, that's going to put Queasy right behind LC Fighter. Actually, might put him ahead. He might be splitting the Ferraris by the time he comes out onto the softs, and that'll be a pretty pacey tire, but they fall off quickly, so he'll have to do a good job managing that if he wants to go for a podium position. As Quimulus is around?
Oh, I feel like it was Queasy Speedy Burger Boy.
Oh, yes, it was. It was, excuse me.
Yes, so that is going to ruin completely his Ferrari spin. And he's going to pit onto the soft.
As LC Fighter comes around the final corner now.
Yeah, being...
But I don't... Yeah, I think that spin cost him his chances of being ahead. As he just... Oh, man. Yep, he's got a lot of work to do to make up that ground lost. And I think he'll be hitting himself over the head on that mistake there. But I got to say, from the... Yeah, from the cup races that we saw him do on the 22 game, or at least that, I saw because nobody else watched them. But
no.
Queasy was struggling with the new handling model, but I'm surprised that it took him that long to not spin. So
this is
good job for him.
Spinning, Issa has spun in the final sector. He's going to head into the pits and have a fast.
He picks up a 5-second tire and he retires. There we go. Yet another reserve spot that could have been taken over.
Acclimatizing to the new game, is a problem. They're very different, obviously with the new regulations.
And is Issei going to come up with the excuses? No, nothing yet. Oh, he's typing in the chat, so we'll see. We'll go down to somebody in the pit who is going to interview us. I think that's the Don Mao spun around on the final corner. And the PR team of Alpha Tauri is PR team of Alpha Tauri is not going to be happy with that. As Don Mao is left without retiring. So we're down to 11 runners. We started with 18. We're down to 11. And at this attrition rate, if you finish, you'll get points.
You have a chance. And importantly, we should note, Queasy Pulo Speedy Boy is flying.
Oh my word! Yes, you are right. Oh man!
I'd be very shocked if this wasn't that close. I'd be very shocked if this wasn't a purple lap, a fast lap of the race. He is gaining massively on LC.
Yeah, so that alternate strategy kind of working out, and we still do have 9 laps to go. So I can't tell you what the pace of those softs will be at the end of the race, but I'd imagine that they'd probably be just as bad as the hards that LC and Nemesis are on as well.
They might be like bricks towards the end. But if he keeps it, if he just limits the mistakes, keeps it on the track, he's going to have a shot at getting a podium here. I'd be very surprised if this isn't the fast lap of the race. It's the fastest.
There we go, 119.
119, 288. And he's hunting down the Ferrari of LC Fire.
Yeah, got that gap down to under 2 seconds now. He's taken out.
He might be on his
just nearly a second.
Win by the end of the lap.
Yeah, yeah, he really might be. I mean, he's going to be getting DRS probably on the in the middle straight there. If he keeps that up, he's only 200ths up this time around, so he's not going for that fastest lap anymore. I think he's just trying to get that DRS to do an easy overtake.
He is in DRS. range. So set himself up on this straight coming up. Just get closer and then set yourself up for the move on the start finish straight. And then see if you can get to Nemesis and get in the 5-second range, because Nemesis is a 5-second time penalty.
Does he hop on board? Yeah, now he's didn't gain much there, but I imagine he's just
Saving his ERS.
yeah, saving his battery and
Just
whatnot.
use the DRS and that's it.
As Cryptic is just casually sailing up ahead there in the Haas, so
The chicane, perfect when you've got a tyre advantage. He's just gained so much time. And he's
Oh
gonna have
my
a shot
word.
in Turn 1. Perfect traction out of the chicane. And you just feel like it's the inevitable. He's that confident he's off the RS. He's going to try and go around the outside into turn 1.
oh, easily
And he's going to
done.
go into the podium position.
So easily done. Yeah, takes that final podium position from LC Fighter there in the Ferrari. And I'm shocked with the amazing strategy calls that the Ferrari team has had so far. So I don't know what it is.
Well, now he's got two options. He's either trying to get in the 5-second range of our reigning champion Nemesis, or he's just got to try and get as far away from LC as he can. So by the end of the race, where the tyres start to equal out and the softs become bricks, he's got enough gap to manage it.
Yeah, and I kind
And
of... Oh, no! Oh, no!
That is a killer. It most likely eliminates the P2 possibility, and now it has got to get a 3-second gap, or now a 2-second gap, because he's got 1 second already, to LC Fighter to remain on the podium.
And LC is right there on the cusp of that DRS range, so I think that's going to be the first thing that Queasy, Speedy, Pluto Boy has to try and break is that DRS, and I think he possibly had it, as it looks like LC has not activated his DRS. So yes, first step done. Oh, but that toe is just absolutely deadly.
I think I think the tires are going already, to be honest.
Yeah, this...
I feel like gone. I think this... They've gone for their limit already. Maybe he pushed too hard because he didn't gain much from that lap at all.
That was... Oof. Man, oh man. Maybe he's just saving too for the end to
Risky.
be able to gap him?
I'd rather get the gap. Yeah, there's
know.
no guarantees you can get the gap going in above 3 seconds.
And we'll go ahead and cut over to Hobbs Van Nick, who's been even closer to the tail of Lawrence this lap. He's usually been around half a second back, but he's been a lot closer through that first sector as they come up to the newly resurfaced, redesigned, whatever you want to call it, turn 10 at the end of this DRS straight. But I think Nick is just kind of going to settle for P6 here, which I don't blame him for that.
Good recovery. I wouldn't say he's settling in it, but there's a realistic chance he can get in the top 5 here. Either way, even if he comes 7th, it's a good recovery from qualifying. And of course, he was last at one point in the first lap.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so fantastic recovery drive from the Canadian, who moved over now into the Alfa Romeo, his sister team of the Ferraris, letting the Berries take over. Gary being his polite Canadian self, as he gets a nice run, and he has his ERS, and he just looked up the inside a little bit on Lawrence, but knew that it was a bit too late to send any kind of move at that rate. So yeah, Nick currently just happily residing in 6th place for the time being, with 5 laps left to go in this race, and only 12 runners on track, but of course the Don Mao having left the session, not actually retiring his car. We're really down to 11 man-powered cars at this rate. So
Stanya's also made it back into his car, we should know. It wasn't a Ghost, it was a Stanya but it's all coloured in now, so he is driving around.
yeah, I was gonna point that out, that Stanier might be the first teammate to have held the lead over MJ Povey at the end of round 1.
That's probably true.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, we can't confirm it, but that sounds... I'd be surprised if he isn't.
And we're going to cut back to this battle for the final podium step, remembering that Queasy Pluto has a 3-second time penalty, and LC gets very close to the back of him, but I mean, do you go if you're LC? Do you go for the move or just stay and get the?
You don't have to go for it. Oh, we've got some attacking going into turn 1. It is the battle that we've been watching. Habs on it trying to get around the outside again. They're going to be. He's going to have to try and hang it around the outside.
Oh,
still.
He's there.
It didn't work for him last time. It's kind of the same systems they were about a few laps ago. They're still trying to hang it around the outside, but Lawrence is clear and he has defended the position yet again.
Whew.
Just bring Pepmeister back into play.
Oh man, yes.
There.
Interestingly, Pep has also been kind of hanging back behind Hobbs Van Nick, so
He's been letting it happen, hasn't he? He's just been watching. He's just been a spectator, just see if he can capitalise on any mistake. And every time they go wheel to wheel, he's just going to be gaining time on them.
yeah.
It could be like a Ricardo on Alonso and Ocon, just while they're sorting themselves out and just sweep through.
Yeah, LC. So yeah, back to what we were talking about before. I mean, if you're LC, do you go for the move on Queasy Pluto on track, or just wait for the penalty to apply post-race?
You don't need to. It's a bit of a weird one. You don't know for certain if any of the warnings were unfair. That's one point.
That's true,
to look
yeah.
at it, but so I think if it's one of those things where if you can overtake and it's just low risk overtake, you go for it. If it's like a challenging overtake, I think you should just anything because you might have contact and lose position to wrong battle. you might anything happen. You can make contact from the tyre and you just thrown away a point all. So yeah, it's just about calculated risks at that point for LC.
Yeah, riding on board with LC in this lap, it seems like Queasy's going really defensive in a lot of the corners that you wouldn't really expect an overtake. So either Queasy's just struggling big time on these tires, or he is kind of worried about a possible LC overtake. So I think LC's just very happy in the position that he's in right now, knowing the power that he wields over his championship rival ahead of him. And interestingly too, I know that LC kind of mentored Queasy in the off season to be able to help him get off of traction control and faster. So it's kind of a apprentice versus master situation that we have going on here. And even though the apprentice is ahead on track, he is behind with the time penalties, and LC's just casually keeping it all together.
Back in the freeway battle, first hit, Lawrence did take a big clump of curb coming out the chicane, but I think Habs had a bit of oversteer going into the final corner, so yeah, it kind of like balanced out, and in the end, Pepmeister was the beneficiary from that and gained time on them both.
And cutting back to turn 1, we see Stanier making a move on that one kid, getting that easily done with DRS. As I gotta say, that one kid, he kind of reminds me of a young me, being very polite when it comes to defensive driving and just letting them by. So
it's hard when you're coming into like the people who know, like the people who like veterans at this point, isn't it? You don't want to piss them off, really, do you?
No, yeah, and
so you just
respect that too. It might even be his first league race in general, so he doesn't really know how to drive wheel to wheel. But I respect that he's opting for the conservative route instead of being aggressive.
Yeah, you don't want to make any enemies round 1, do you? Just
absolutely not.
Yeah, this is a chance for Pepmeister. Habs has dropped back a little bit from the back of Lawrence, and Pepmeister is closer than he's ever been. Lawrence is breaking the toe. Pepmeister's not quite going to get there. He's not going to look for a dive into turn 1. And they are still in position.
Yeah, now Pep's a little bit far back, and Hobbs peeking around, seeing what's ahead of there of Lawrence, but not actually making
time trial here.
We're on the second to final lap here. Cryptic is about to come around the final corner and start our final lap, as he's had just an easy race all race, and very dominant drive from our Season 3 World Constructor Champion.
Yeah, he had that little moment, didn't he, where he lost the lead to LC, overtook him a lap later, and from then on, he's just not looked back. If it wasn't for Queasy Speedy Pluto Boy going on the hard to soft strategy, he would have led every lap from that point onwards.
Yeah, and we're seeing, ooh, this is interesting. We're seeing Queasy gap LC. We're seeing. Oh man.
Oh, this is a run perhaps. If you can get the last corner right, it's going to be a chance that this desperation time, if you want to get into the top 5, Lawrence is breaking the tail, he's weaving on the straight, but it's not quite going to be close enough for Habs Van Nick.
And Pep has turned it up a notch as well. You can hear him driving so much more aggressively on this final lap as well. He wants to be right next to his teammate in the standings.
Because Habs has to defend. He's trying to attack and defend at the same time.
Pep is doing a great job keeping it together and harassing Nick, and I think that's really spooking Nick out from focusing on what's ahead of him.
Cryptic F1 is silence the doubters, me. He's around the final corner and win the first round of the season.
As we still have some battles on track continuing out, LC managing to stay within that 3-second gap. I really don't think Queasy's going to be able to get that 3 seconds here with only 4 corners to go. So
a good race from him though. He went on the hard at the start and he did well to maintain his position as well as he did, and got the strategy right. He's going to take P4 still. It's still an impressive drive for Queasy Speedy Pluto Boy.
As we come down to the final corner here, Habs Van Nick looks for it, Pep's looking for it, but I think this is how it's going to round out. As Lawrence comes across, and what a good start to the season. I gotta say, it's a very mellow race. Kind of sad to see everybody just kind of quit halfway through, but I get it. You can be frustrated. It's the first race. Everybody's really excited, and it ends up being underwhelming with all the different bugs and whatnot. But yeah, that's a pretty good start to the season, and hopefully a happy sign of things to come, and possibly a new champion in Xbox, finally ending the Barry dominance.
Let's call it. Cryptic F1 is the season 7, 6?
Season 6, yeah, 6.5, whatever we want to call it.
6 champion of the world.
That works. I mean, if Povey quits, as I unlock an achievement, lovely.
Yeah, spectating an online race. Why, thank you, Xbox. I appreciate it. Habs Van Nick has been given driver today as well for his run through the field. Into 6th place after qualifying, was it 13th in the end? Or was he 11th? It was 11th or 13th. With an odd number.
Yeah. Yep. As we come out to our...
Oh, haven't seen the new podium. This is a bit different.
Yep.
Not sure it's like that in real life, but you do you. He's going to trot out. He's going to give everyone the finger. He's not going to throw copies of the game this time. We
not yet. He hasn't gotten that unlocked yet. Yeah, we'll have to wait for the future, and he'll start chucking games. But
Haas F1 is on the top step of the podium. They've beaten their affiliates. No, that's the wrong way round.
It is so good to see the American team back on top, where they belong.
Back on top.
Oh, that's amazing. Amazing. It's a dream come true. But yeah, I'm going to be smart about it this time, and I'm going to pick driver of the day first, and I'm going to go ahead and give it to Cryptic, because it's not a Barry that has won the race, and so I'm excited about that. He has upset the balance of the Barryverse, and even as a Barry myself, I am excited to see somebody else on top, and he had a very easy drive for a victory. So that's why I went first. Oh, okay. All right.
P4, my second one, Habs Van Nick. He was another person who tried a bit different strategy, going onto the softs. He was the first person to pit, and he undercut quite a few drivers, I think. And then he held on with the older tyres, and got himself a good P6.
Yeah, that was a very, very nice job, as Povy's now inviting us to a party. But yeah, I'd agree with those. There was a lot of good, yeah, there was a lot of good driving up and down the field today, and I think I like what you did, giving out duo drivers of the day. So yeah, I think we got all of our bases covered there, and recognizing game recognized gamer or whatever. But anyways, that's going to be it for us. Make sure to tune in next week, where we will be at a spot that I don't actually know where we're racing next week, but you know, it'll be there. So same time, same cast, and same group. Oh yeah, thankfully not Bahrain. But
what do you mean? How are we supposed to tribute to Chris now? It's disgrace. We're at Spa-Francorchamps.
Yeah, we could do that. I don't know. But anyways,
have to make a new one for him.
Oh yeah, it is okay. It is Spa next, but yeah, that's okay. I've been AW Turbo Guy, alongside with me Kim. Thank you very much, Kim, for commentating, and thank you guys for watching. And we will see you guys next week. Where are these pings at? Production. Okay, yeah, I guess we go join Povy's party. Wait, no, I can't. I gotta go do PC4 comms now. So long day. Yep. I don't even know who's in it. Thank you.